Hello.
Howdy.
Hey guys. I don't know how many people are here. It looks like there's some people who have been waiting already. We'll take just a couple more minutes to let people, some people are going to get ads. That's normal. Some people don't get ads. That's okay. Just hang tight for a couple of minutes and we'll let everyone get settled in and then we'll see. DJ says ads. So we can see most of the messages. We've got a little screen on the side here where they kind of scroll up just like they used to on Facebook. So feel free to comment. If you're here watching us and you're unable to comment and you want to be able to comment, you might not be logged in. You do have to be logged in to YouTube in order to comment. So it's just like any other, it's just like Facebook. You got to log into Facebook in order to comment.
You may have forgotten, but there was one point where you actually signed into Facebook and you haven't signed out since.
True. So yeah, if you're watching this, listening, and you're like, man, why isn't it letting me comment? Try logging in. You can do it with your Gmail address because YouTube is owned by Google. So you don't even have to create a separate login. And if not, I mean, you're welcome to just watch. You don't have to comment, but it's good to see you guys. I don't remember, when's the last time we did a public live like this? It's been a while.
Months ago. Maybe your beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think we maybe did an update on Facebook when we first moved into this house. But we do go live 3 times a week. And we do it now because of all the changes with social media and the income loss on Facebook. Our live streams have to be a subscription model because we're not making money anymore just by it used to be we'd post a video and you guys would watch ads on the video and we get paid for the ads. That went away a while ago. Then they stopped paying for live streams. So now we have to do a subscription model. So if you're interested in doing live streams and being on our live streams, even once a week, you can do a once a week for $5.99. You can do 3 times a week for $14.99. Just leave a comment somewhere. Let someone know. We'll find you. Leave comments on Facebook. We'll find you and someone will help walk you. Sharon, I should say. I shouldn't say someone. Sharon will help walk you through that because she has become our resident professional for signing people up and getting people situated. But speaking of income, if you guys saw the picture today, Aaron is a farmer. Are you a farmer?
I wouldn't go that far.
Are you a farm hand?
Maybe a farm hand.
A farm hand?
In training? I don't know.
Our situation drastically changed. I don't know how many of you have been able to keep up. I know that a lot of people don't see our posts on Facebook anymore, and that's part of the problem with Facebook. But our situation changed drastically in February of 2024. Literally overnight, our income dropped to 1/3 of what it was, no longer sustainable. We had to leave our home in Florida because of it. And move back to Michigan. And, we can get into all those details later. But ever since we got settled in here, well, even before we left Florida, Aaron was looking for work, but then things got crazy with the move. So ever since we've been settled in here, he's been turning in applications looking for full-time work in addition to his illustration work. But nobody's hiring. He's had 2 interviews this year, and they didn't offer him a position. And one was Aldi. How hard is it to get a job at Aldi? Doesn't even require really specialized experience. So I don't know how many of you are looking for work right now, but it is bad out there.
And it's not the same. The format of hiring is so different than anything you've ever experienced these days. They won't even talk. You can't go in and talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. They have you fill something out online. They don't even send you an email that says, thank you, we received your resume. We'll get back to you. Nothing. And then you never hear anything.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what's the criteria. Was there something that I could have done something differently? Because it wasn't even I left any impression or anything. Because I just send these out, make a little cover letter, and that's it.
Yeah, everything is online. They don't want you to follow up. They don't want you to show back up there. They don't want you to call. They don't want you to check in and see how things are going. They're like, we'll call you. It's been pretty frustrating, and there's not a lot going on in our area. We've checked everything from Amazon delivery to, like I said, Aldi, all the local grocery stores. He's looked for local dog grooming and dog daycare positions because that's what he was doing before we got together. He's looked for remote illustration work, which we just applied for another one today. So he is looking for full-time work, but so far it hasn't panned out. And the farm where we get our CSA through posted in the newsletter that they needed help picking tomatoes. Yeah. And that's what prompted me to like ask them if they were interested and if he could help them like part-time. So it's better than nothing right now. It's extra income that we need to keep
food on the table,
bills paid. So tell them what it's like working on the farm.
If you've ever done anything like it, you know what it's like. It's a lot of physical labor. It's out in the sun. I like it though. It's rewarding. I feel good outside doing. I feel like I'm actually making a difference, and I feel, even though it's not like, I'm not rolling in the dough or anything, I feel physically like I'm helping my family, and I feel like I'm helping get this food out so that people can enjoy the produce.
Yeah, that's cool. You're not just feeding us, you're feeding a lot of people because they need help. They said they were shorthanded for harvesting. Like that food will just rot in the field, right? If you don't get it out.
That's a bigger shame, is when it doesn't get out to anybody. Because it's all organic. This isn't like a big commercial farm. It's organic. So the window of time that these vegetables and fruit can be saleable is not that long.
Right.
So it's really time sensitive, like to get these things picked and put into whatever packaging they need to go out to sell.
And this isn't like a big monoculture factory farm. This is like it's not small. It's like 150 acres, but it's like a smaller, local, organic, family run farm. So they can't pay him a lot. He's making minimum wage, but it's something for now until, we're going to continue. Oh, he did hear back from, he got to like phase 2, fingers crossed, of U.S. Postal Service position.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like when I saw that email, I thought it was some spam thing. I was like, oh, okay. They actually they were contacting me and they wanted me to do the next phase. So that's surprising because I never figured any type of government job I just did it because it was being offered. And I didn't have any expectation of them getting back to me. So even getting this far to me is pretty encouraging.
But he comes home hot and sweaty and dirty, and I the first day was really sweet. It was sweet after I looked at the picture. My son was here because, as a lot of you found out, our van broke. The brake line bursted the night before Aaron was supposed to be there at like literally 6:30 p.m. the night before Aaron was supposed to be at his first day on this job at 7 a.m. the next morning. It was like just pure panic. And what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought.
Something you said really sweet about Austin.
Oh, yeah. The first day after he got home from work, I went out to water my garden, and I like just started hosing him down because he was all sweaty and hot. And then I was hosing myself down because I was all sweaty and hot. And then Austin was in the kitchen taking pictures of us, and he was like, that was one of the sweetest couples moments I've ever seen between you two. So yeah. Rochelle says, I'm praying you get the USPS job. Thank you, Rochelle. It would be huge. That would be like Definitely regular pay and more stable and some benefits and stuff. The only downside, and one of the things that we've always weighed over the years with him working outside the home, is that he wouldn't be able to go with us for Anna's treatments, which, as you guys know, we have to travel down to Florida for, and we're usually gone like 4 to 6 weeks. And, of course, I've done it myself in the past, and it is harder to lift her now, especially with casts on. For me, I have a lot of hip and back issues and chronic pain issues. So it would be difficult, but I'm sure we would figure it out. So we've always kind of leaned towards like fingers crossed for a remote position with, especially, with his talents or an illustration. But at this point, like, we'll take whatever comes our way. In the meantime, for sure. Hope maybe that illustration job I applied for today will pan out. Who knows? Awesome. But I don't know, anything else you want to say about working on the farm? I just wanted to give people a quick update because people were asking about his job before we go on to talk about like the GoFundMe and everything that has transpired over the last couple of days.
Yeah. So far I'm enjoying it. I still haven't done everything, so I can't give you a full report about how everything works, but I met some pigs today. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the picture is you with pigs. I'm jealous. I love pigs. Picture.
Yes. It was a picture.
It was a picture of Aaron. What you said you've done so far, you said you've picked tomatoes.
Picked lots of tomatoes.
Picked green beans.
Picked tons of green beans.
You've weeded carrots.
And picked carrots.
You moved pipe?
Moved some
from one field to another?
Yeah.
What was that about? Is it like irrigation pipe?
Yeah, it's like the sprinklers on the pipes. Yeah.
Did you feed the pigs?
We were like throwing some like weeds at them that they seem to like. So they have this enclosure that they're in. It's just it's a natural like kind of area that just has this like low grade electric fencing around just to keep them in. And they've eaten like all the different native plants that were in there, except for like 2. One of them is poisonous and one is like
and they know,
I guess, yeah. One of them was a poisonous plant, and another one they said was like some kind of weed of some type. But the other stuff that's outside that they haven't gotten to because it's outside the electric fence, you could feed them and actually will nibble on that.
You just reminded me of something.
What?
We have to take you this weekend to get a tetanus shot.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That's the one thing they said that he should do for working on the farm is get a tetanus shot, because they said the most common injury is like a cut.
And I have gotten cuts already.
Yeah. The first day you came home and you had something.
I got this blister on my hands.
Yeah. So, okay. So we should plan on doing that
we also
tomorrow.
We also need to get like some Neosporin and stuff, because when I do get those cuts, I don't want them to get infected.
Okay. Leanne, where did you guys go to do that? Did you just run up to like CVS or something? Like you just say, hey, I need a tetanus shot, and they just do it? He hasn't had one in a long time, so we definitely need to do that. So, yeah, that's what's going on with Aaron, other than he is still doing illustration work. He's still doing custom illustrations. So if anyone's interested in a custom illustration, you can find the way to purchase those and order that is on our merch website. So, yep, any drugstore.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I'll see you later. I'm going to chat with these guys and Sharon for a bit.
Sounds good. All right. Enjoy. Thanks, guys.
So some of you guys know Sharon. Sharon is our like right-hand gal. She is has been like a moderator for a long time. She used to help with our emails. Now we don't do as many emails. She knows everything there is to know about pretty much everything, and can find me no matter where I am, even if I'm like on the toilet. So if you guys need something, she's the one to tag. Just, you can always leave a comment anywhere on Facebook and say, Sharon, I need your help. And one of the moderators, Tressie or Jennifer or myself, will let her know that you want to talk to her, and she will private message you and work out whatever it is that you need. So this is Sharon.
Hey guys.
And Sharon is like a very close family friend. We actually just met her for the first time recently when we took that we took a recent business trip to New York, and I didn't want to do that trip. I kind of regret it on one hand, but on the other hand, we got to meet Sharon and two other of our close family subs. And it was like a dream, like hanging out. Oh, we also got to meet two more. So 5. We met 5 of our close family friends who have been subscribers for a while. And then every single day we were out there, people recognized us and came up and said hello and chatted with us. So it was really cool. But Sharon is the one who forced me to do this GoFundMe, because I was not interested in doing anything like that, even though we've been struggling pretty badly for 2 years. I said, no, this is like our situation. We need to get ourselves out of it. And then the brake line blew, and we were like, I didn't know what we were going to do. I had no idea how we were going to get Aaron to this job. He couldn't take an Uber and a Lyft because we're far enough away that it would have cost what he was making. Like, it would have negated anything he made. So thank goodness my son, who lives just over an hour away, was able to rush over that night. I called him at like 9:30 and I begged him and stay here for a couple of days to get Aaron back and forth while we figured out the car situation. But my son said something to me the first night he was here. He was like, Mom, why don't you need to do a GoFundMe? Like, you're not going to have any way to pay for this car repair. And I said, no, I'm not doing a GoFundMe. And I just like, kind of as a jokingly, like when I was talking to Sharon, I said, yeah, Austin said I should do a GoFundMe. And she's like, oh yeah, you should. And she's like, and actually, you know what? No, I'm just going to do it. So thank you for that. Now, like, in hindsight, clearly it's a huge relief. I don't know how to adequately just thank you to everyone who contributed. There's no way that I can ever adequately thank everyone, every single person. I don't even know what to say. Like, I didn't, Jan. I didn't have any other choice. And that was kind of what backed me into a corner to say, fine. Like, she was like, here, I'm writing it up. Look it over. Let me know what you think. I'm doing it. And I just acquiesced because I had no other recourse. We had no path to credit. We've extended all of our credit already from the move and losing everything in Florida. And we've already been leaning on people for help to get by. And I just there was nothing else to do. Do you want to tell them from your point of view, like what made you?
Well, yeah, sure, I would. For a long time, it is true, for a long time, it not just myself, but other people at the family level, have nudged you. We've told you, so many people love you guys, and whenever you've had excess yourselves, you've always given that excess to someone else in need. And but you never, it's okay if people reach out and say, like, they'll reach out to me and say, can I have the PO box, or how can I go ahead and send a little something support? I don't necessarily need a t-shirt, but I want to send something. You struggle with that. I know that you struggle with accepting the kindness that you put out back for yourselves. And when this happened, I was panicking because I didn't see a way out, and that van needed to be fixed. And I I would love to take the credit for it, but it's not me. I think by Austin saying something to you, um, I think that triggered something. And then I just saw a moment that I could grab, almost like a moment where I knew you couldn't say no. And I was like, I'm doing this, and you can get mad at me. You can, whatever. I mean, ultimately, I couldn't have done it without your approval, because there's certain things that, have to be done. But I knew in that moment when you said, Austin said maybe I should do a GoFundMe, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a GoFundMe. Like, I'm not taking no for an answer. And it was really weird, because even then you were very doubtful. You were like, well, I guess we should, after you do the GoFundMe, I should still wait and not approve the okay to fix the van, because I really don't think we're going to raise that much. And I was like,
Right.
I just knew. I stayed up with you. I wanted your approval that night, and I am sorry if I woke anybody up in the middle of the night when I decided to make the post so late, but I wanted to get it up and go to bed, and I wanted to wake up in the morning, and I have to say, this, everything that you've always put out there, and this incredible family that you've built between like any level of subscribers, and just people in general, even those people that can't afford to have a subscription, you guys really honestly don't understand that every share, every view, every comment, it all generates something for them. And I feel bad when I'm responding to comments and I see people say, well, I don't really have anything I can offer financially, but I'm offering you my prayers, and guys, that's everything. Because Nana knows that my belief in the universe, in spirit, in God, whatever you want to call that, I really feel like when someone offers that positivity for another person, it's just as much as, breaking out your credit card. And I went to bed that night, really thanking my own guardian angels. I'm like, please, if I can use a favor for them, make this work. And then we were blown away, like not even, I'm going to cry, not even 24 hours later.
I didn't think that it was going to go over very well for multiple reasons. One, because I've been completely determined since our Facebook income dropped off in February 24 to figure it out ourselves. My first solution was I spent a few months designing our private community space, and I thought that I was going to do this big push and people would love the idea of a private community and move over and follow us on YouTube. I thought if we just explain the situation, and be honest with people, like we can't do this on Facebook anymore because of the changes they've made, that people would make that shift because they wanted to support us. And it was really kind of disheartening the first half of 2024 to find that people were not interested in doing that. I think they just don't understand the way that it all works, and it didn't make sense to them why they had to move off of Facebook. But I really wanted to make it work, and that was how I figured we could switch the income that we were losing from Facebook, was by doing the subscription model and having the private community space. Then also we have put out since then, 3 different rounds of merch. We completely revamped our Kind People Do Beautiful Things line. We included housewares, art and throw pillows and candles and everything. None of those merch launches did well. And also, I know how hard it's been on everyone this year. Specifically, this year has been harder than I think it ever has been in recent years, even all through the pandemic and everything. And I know everyone is struggling. And I'm like, what right do I have to ask other people to help? Because up until the point the brake line blew, it wasn't like an emergency. It was just like a constant, we're behind the ball. We had so much debt accumulated. I was just treading water. I felt like I was in quicksand. I felt like I was living in quicksand. Like every time I would start, like, I've got this idea, I'm doing this thing, or I'm working this way to get myself out, I would slip further down.
Well, I talk to you on the daily, multiple times throughout the day, whether it's just our friendship or it's, doing something for the page or helping a subscriber or anything, right? And I, I get to see, behind the scenes what goes on. And what did I say to you? I'm in disbelief. I've never seen anyone like you get like 3 steps ahead and then bam, 5 steps, you're slammed back down. Like, and there's a lot of even little things that a lot of people don't know, like just tiny little things that happen on the daily. And I'm like, how much more can you guys take? Like,
well, I mean, it was honestly to the point where Sharon and I were starting to suspect, like, we were like reaching to like like, is there something paranormal going on? Is there some negative energy? Like, it feels like we're cursed. Like every single time anything starts to look positive or look up, it would, something else major would like slap us down. And I'm just like, what is going on? How can someone work so hard and still have so much like negativity pushing back on them? So like I said, for all these reasons, I thought maybe between the really close subscribers, we would probably make enough to fix the van to get him to work. I didn't think of anything beyond that. And when you asked, like, well, where, what are you thinking? Like, you were like saying like 10,000. I'm like, no. Like maybe 5, because it was like 2,000 for the van. And then we had some bills to pay this month that we didn't know how we were going to pay. And actually I didn't even know until day 2 of this whole thing that I thought Aaron was going to get like money each week. He's not even getting paid till the end of the month. So we wouldn't have had a way to pay those bills. So the whole thing kind of blows my mind. But yeah, I was not confident and I didn't feel comfortable doing it. And I didn't think that it was the solution. And I just thought that people were going to be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, and some people were like that.
I just want to interrupt you for a second, because I want to say, like, when I did finally convince you, and I've never done a GoFundMe, so I went in to look at it, and I'm like, oh, I have to put like a figure in here, and I don't know what to put. And of course Nana was like, I just want the bare minimum to fix the van, like don't put in some crazy amount. And then I put the amount in that I thought I should put in, and then I checked off a box that allowed the GoFundMe to automatically update the total once you get close to the original amount that was put in, which I put 8,000 in. And then like all of a sudden the next day we're looking, and Nana is like, well wait a minute, you asked me what amount to put in. You told me you were putting 8 in, and it's like way up over that. And I'm like, oh, because I clicked off this box that allows it to like automatically continue and update. And if you guys know, and I know you all know how she is, of course, she was like uncomfortable with that. She was like, well, wait a minute, like, and I'm like, just let it go. It's the universe giving back to you. The things that you've done with the nonprofit and other things, that just let it go, just accept it and let it go. And I know that's difficult for you, but it feels good to see you get back, a lot of the love that you guys put out there. I'm telling you, how many people I get that message me, and sometimes just people, especially the older people that are following, they're like, they make my day just being able to see them, and I love to hear that stuff. I mean, I love when people private message me positive things about you guys.
I'm trying to find it. I had a screenshot. Is this it here? Yeah, no, you didn't start it at 8,000, because I was like, no way, that's too much. We started it I agreed at 5,500, and that's what you put in. Look, I'll share this. Because we couldn't figure out like what was happening. It was so insane how quickly it was jumping up, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And I figured it out, because if you go to the GoFundMe, and I think anyone can do this, you go to GoFundMe and you click on the goal amount, this page pops up and it says, if an organizer turns on automated goal setting, that's that box you checked, GoFundMe adjusts the goal automatically based on the fundraiser's characteristics and performance. I didn't know this was the thing. They never used to do this back in the day. You can see the goal history, which is up here, if GoFundMe has ever made automatic updates. So right here, you can see we started it at what I agreed upon,
Okay.
5,500. And then it automatically jumped the next day to, because we posted it, like we were up till like 3 a.m, like tweaking I'm like, no, I don't want to this, put this information, that information, whatever. Like, I want it to be completely accurate, because you guys know me, I'm super transparent. So once we got it up, we posted it at like 4 a.m. or something the night before. So at 5,500, the next morning it upped itself to 8,000. Then it upped itself to 13, then to 22, then to 40, all in the same day. Like, I have never in my life, you guys, when we went to bed, when Sharon and I went to bed, I posted it on my personal Facebook page, and Sharon posted it in our private community space, just in those two places. And I woke up the next morning when I got up with Anna, and it was like 11 a.m. It was at like just over 2,000. And I was like, oh, I can get the car fixed. And I was so excited. And I immediately contacted the mechanic and like approved the parts of the quote for the brake lines and the brake pads on the rear brakes. And so that was like just a huge relief to me. That was at 11 o'clock in the morning. The next like 10 hours, I don't even understand what happened. We kept looking, and it jumped from like 2 to 10 to 12 to 15 to 18. I mean, it's not like people can't see, right? Like, they go to the GoFundMe page, they can see right there what the total is at. We outlined, we were super detailed. I made sure Sharon included everything important in the description. It's all there. So it's not like,
Yeah, well, when you agreed to it, I said to you, I'm not comfortable just drafting up what I think needs to be said. I want you to look it over. I wanted you to be a part of it, because I know that you want to be transparent, you want to whatever, and so I didn't feel comfortable just moving forward after you agreed to it and did what you had to do on your end. For the GoFundMe part, I wanted you to be a participant in making sure that what I was saying was okay. But before that, I went into Mighty Networks earlier in the day, and I was like, guys, like, you're the friends level subs and the family level subs. And I was like, I've never done a GoFundMe. If anybody wants to help me, if anybody has any ideas, this is my thought of what I've already written up. And even then, a lot of people right away were like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're doing this. Like, and I felt bad again. Like it was other people at the family level that I speak to on a daily basis. And I was like, hey guys, like, what do you guys, and they were all like, let's do it. So it's not just me. And I don't want to take credit for that. It was the family that you've built in a lot of ways, subscribers, non-subscribers, that they were so quick to be like, yeah, I'm there. I want to help. Let's do this. I can help you. I've done a GoFundMe. Like it right out of the gate, it was nothing but positivity.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And so I talked to my mom the night that that first night, right? Like, I was like, Mom, have you seen what's going on? Like, can you even believe this? for those of you who don't know, my mom bought the house that we're living in because we were going to be out on the street. Like, that's how bad things were in Florida. And let me give some background on that real quick, because I know a lot of people are curious. I've had questions about, like, when did you guys start having financial problems? People seem to have this idea that we just completely squandered our money away over the last few years, and it's not the case at all. Like, I'm a very responsible person. You know, I went to school for 6 straight years and pulled myself up by my bootstraps because I had my kids really young, and it was a struggle my whole adult life. And I wanted to do better. And so I went to school and I got degrees, and I wanted to get a really good job. And I was going to graduate from university and go wherever the good job was. And then Anna came along, and I had to stay put and take care of her while finishing school. And then I got a really good job after school. I was making like $80,000 a year. But it was hard to work and take care of her medical needs because we have to travel so much for her medical care, and jobs don't let you take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks off in a year for medical care. They don't let you leave work 3 times a week early to go to physical therapy. Like, that's just not a thing that you can do when you have a job outside the home. And so when the pandemic hit in 2020, and I had already been sharing our story online for a few years, and we had already kind of built up, I think maybe we had like 1,500 followers or something at the time. I was home with her full time. And so we were filming more and we were sharing more, and it just snowballed. Like 2020, we exploded. And in, I think, May of 2020, we started monetizing, which is when they start putting ads on your videos and paying you for those ads. And by the end of 2020, I was able to pay all of my bills just with the Facebook income alone. And it was great because I always wanted to homeschool Anna. I knew how brilliant she was. I knew, you know, if you send your child with a physical disability to public school, like, even if she weren't as gifted as she is, and even if they could accommodate her academically, there's a lot more that comes with that. Like, do I want a bunch of strangers having to toilet her? Are they going to give her enough time to eat? Are they going to help her eat? You know, there's a lot of things there to think about as a parent. And so I always knew I would love to stay home and homeschool her because my other 2 were through public school, and I wanted to do it different this time. But, you know, I was a single mom and I had to work. And so when we were able to live off of social media, it was a game changer. And that income grew substantially in 2021. Like, it doubled like every year. And so by the time Aaron and I got married, I was making just about $300,000 a year just from social media, from sharing our story. And not only that, but we were able to start a nonprofit. We were able to secure donations to help other AMCers. We were raising awareness. Millions and millions of people know what this rare condition is because of our page. And that helps our community of AMCers just in the knowledge of knowing what's going on. So, I mean, I worked really hard, and I paid off all of my debt when I got that extra income, and I put money aside. I had a bunch of $100,000 in the savings account in the bank for years. Aaron and I decided after we got married that we thought it would be better to move to Florida and be closer to Anna's doctors. And, you know, we wanted her to have a pool because we knew how good that was going to be for her physically. And when we moved into that house in Florida, we were making enough money to support that lifestyle. And then things just started going downhill. Facebook started making changes to the algorithm. People started dropping off of our feed who were following us. We scrambled by upping our live streams. You guys know that. You saw we went from 1 live stream a day to 2, sometimes 3, just to supplement that income so we could keep paying things and keep taking care of Anna properly. And then in 2023, they shifted things again. They stopped paying out the same way for ads. We saw our income drop by 1/3. And that's when things started really getting uncomfortable. And that's when Aaron tried to start building his Sketchy Friendler brand and using his illustration abilities to help support the family. Then 2023, we had to start using our savings to make ends meet in order to, we couldn't break our lease, right? And then by 20, and then also the other thing was, remember, the landlord raised our rent $600 a month in 2023. That was an unexpected massive increase to the rent, $600 a month. There was all that stuff that happened with the hurricanes in Florida. Everybody's property taxes went up, everybody's homeowners insurance went up, and it was legit. Like, I looked, he was being legit, but it was a huge hike. It was a huge hike.
And then on top of that, Anna needed the new power chair, and you're paying all this money out a month, in insane amount for
$3,400 a month for insurance.
And they wouldn't even pay for a new chair for her. Like, it really got so crazy how
it compounded big time. So we watched our savings dwindle away, and then we had to start charging things. And then we wanted to move in 2024, but we didn't have anywhere to go, and we didn't know how to pack up that whole house, and like moving expenses, we didn't have any savings left for moving expenses. So some people close to us agreed to help, kind of like, okay, stay there for another year, figure out where to go, like it'll work out, maybe things will pick back up, and we kind of like piecemealed things together, and it just got worse and worse and worse until finally then we had to move. And that was insanely expensive. It took us like 4 trips because we couldn't afford to do it all at once. Thank God my mom, like the whole circle, I don't want to get into her personal details on here. I don't talk about other people's stuff. But the fact that my mother was able to even get this house for us is a whole other, like, holy crap, I can't believe it worked out that way situation on its own. My parents are not wealthy people at all. Not at all. In fact, my mom is on a fixed income too, just like many people who follow us. So the fact that this house even worked out is like a complete miracle. And so, we tucked our tail between our legs and came back here, and it's fine. Like we thought, it's fine. It's a fresh start. Things will be so much easier. We won't have the insanely high rent. Hopefully our health insurance costs will go down, which they did, but not by much. But now we have this debt that we're carrying, and if we didn't have the debt, if all of a sudden, and I never imagined this would even be a possibility to even erase a fraction of it unless we somehow won the lottery. But if you just took away every dime of the debt, we'd make enough money every month to pay everything, including the $2,300 a month health insurance. Like we would be okay. But the debt is killing us. And yet still, I wouldn't let you do. I'm like, no, like this is our problem.
No,
our issue. Like we have to claw our way out of this. We have to find more streams of income. We have to find jobs. We have to add income. We have to do this. We just have to figure it out, because that's life, right? Everybody's struggling. Everybody's trying to make ends meet.
But then part 2 of this is, I think it was maybe last night, or it's such a whirlwind, I lost track of the days. But at some point you were like, hey, you need to shut the GoFundMe down. And I'm like, what? And you're like, you need to go shut the GoFundMe down. You see the amount that's in there. And I really originally just wanted the money to fix the van. I'm like, no, like we're not shutting the GoFundMe down. I kind of like, just let it ride, I said, because I've got people that reached out to me that are like, I'm not getting paid till Friday. You're going to shut the GoFundMe down. I don't have a way to donate them, because I have to say, like a lot of my mom is a senior citizen. I'm almost approaching being a senior citizen. A lot of us are afraid of like getting scammed or whatever. And they're like, I don't know of a better way. I would rather just do it through the GoFundMe, So I had to tell you the other night, I'm like, no, there's people that are getting paid on Friday and they want, and you're like, well, they're, right away you were you. There's enough money in there. Like, I don't want to take anything else from anybody else. And I'm like, but I kind of feel like everything that you have going on, if you can get out from under this debt, and like at the end of the year, Anna's already has her medical needs that are going to be coming up again. You're going to have to go to Paley, braces, all of that kind of stuff. I said people can see that what I put in there was met, but people are still wanting to donate. So let the universe do that for you. Like, and so today I went into Mighty Network and I made a post to the friend subscribers and the family subscribers, because I included them from the beginning. And I was like, guys, do you think I should shut this down? Because she's having a real problem with like letting this go on. She feels really like she doesn't want people to think she's being greedy or anything like that. And it was like unanimous. People were like, no, do not do that. It's the universe giving them back what they deserve. Don't shut it down. And I know, look, I know you're struggling with that.
Though,
and I
but
know
here's the thing that I know that people who follow us, they don't know us the way you do, right? They don't have the inside information unless you're one of our subscribers and you're spending that 3 days a week with us. You don't know as much about us as you think you do. We share all of that personal information with our subscribers. We don't share that in the fun little public videos that we post. So, and that's kind of a byproduct of social media, right? And it's not that we're being disingenuous by any means. It's just that you can't put everything about yourself, and I put more than most, out on the public because people are so cruel. Like, I can't even tell you how many hurtful, hateful, horrible comments we get on a daily basis. And I go through and I like to keep my community clean. I like to keep my pages clean. I know a lot of social media influencer content creators, they don't even look at their comments. They just ignore them completely. And it's full of spam and it's full of hate and it's full of arguing and fighting. I don't want that on my page. I don't want that on a page about my daughter. I don't want that energy around us. So I spend time every day in my day going through, combing through, cleaning out the negativity and making it a safe space for everyone as much as I possibly can. And people don't understand, like they just see what they see from their perspective. But I mean, I've been in a place of, I had my kids when I was 16 and 18. I was on welfare as a teen mom when I was a kid. I know what it feels like to not have. And as soon as we started making money in 2020, and literally the second that I could pay my bills, my basic expenses, and keep us comfortable, I was looking for ways to utilize the excess. What can we do to give back? We started the nonprofit. We were doing things with, like every other month, we were donating our stars income to AMCers or people who followed us who needed money. Aside from the nonprofit in 2022 and 2023, and I never talked about this because you don't talk, it's not cool. You don't do that. But I gave away tens of thousands of personal income to help other people. We would call up Paley and pay off medical bills. We would send food to be catered to Quantum House, to the families that were there for medical treatment. We would find people in our comments that really needed help, and we would find a way to help them. Like I love helping people, but I can't, it's like that old adage about you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on your kid in the airplane. Like, I can't do that when I'm drowning myself. And
I thought about that today.
Even now, with all of you coming together and this miracle, because I've been talking to you all along through this whole process. I'm already looking for ways to give some, like, how can I give some to someone else? Like my mom, when I called her the other night and talked to her, she mentioned that she was having car trouble. And I'm like, mom, let me help. Let me do it. And then she was talking about the taxes. I'm like, mom, let me take care. Like I just want to be in a position to help other people like I was before, because that's what feels the best. Nobody wants to be a drain on other people. I don't want to be a loser. I don't want to be greedy. I don't want people thinking I'm a horrible person, because I know that I'm not. And people don't know that because they don't know me as well as you do. But this morning I got completely rocked, because this is so hard to talk about. We saw all that money come in like less than 24 hours, and it was like surreal. It was like not even reality. It's still hard to believe. And this morning I woke up and opened my Facebook, and there was a GoFundMe on there from a very dear friend of mine that I have known for almost 30 years. A lot of you have heard me talk about why my private community space that I've created is so important to me, and why I try to combat this idea that you can't have friends that are only online. I want to have a safe space for people who can come together. And that private community space is not about people paying subscriptions to hang out with us. It's about giving people a place to be with each other, where there's no spam and there's no trolls and there's no negativity and there's no people trying to eat each other up. There's chat rooms. People can get to know each other. They can have the support that they need 24/7 because it's a digital space. And I know that that's possible, because when I was pregnant with my son at 18 years old, I joined a chat room. It was on an old chat server called Talk City, way back in the day when it was just text on a screen, right? And we had a room called Parent Chat. Oh God. And I spent years in that chat room with those people. They were my friends. They were my dear friends. They still are. I am still friends with so many of them on Facebook. We live in all different parts of the country. And everybody's been through hell and back 1,000 times in the last 27 years. So many things have happened. We've lost people, people have been through horrific things, and we're still, friends, and we're still a community. And so it's so special to me that I want to provide that for other people. And that was the idea behind this private community space. So today I open up my Facebook, and there's a GoFundMe from one of my friends from that place. Her name is Kim. She had a house fire like a week ago, and they lost everything. And her husband is in the hospital right now with 2nd-degree burns, and they have nowhere to live. And I looked at their GoFundMe, and they had like 26 donations, and it was at like $1,600. It just breaks my heart. We are not any more special than them. Why should we deserve this? And they're struggling like that. It's not okay. It's not okay. I can't stomach it. I felt so sick. I couldn't even see straight for hours. And I have to give her some of my money. I have to. So Aaron and I talked about, like, we can't, I would give her 10 grand if I could, but we have things, like I said, we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves before we can help other people. We want to get back to a place where we are making enough extra money to help other people consistently. So we can't short ourselves, but I have to help her a little bit. And so we discussed what we felt as a family was an amount that would be helpful, but not cut into too much of the donations. But I just want to, Erin is going to draw some illustrations and we're going to put them up for sale, and all of the proceeds of those are going to go to Kim and her husband, and anyone who didn't want to donate to our GoFundMe because you feel like, we don't really need it or whatever, if you would please go to GoFundMe and look up Kim's GoFundMe and donate to hers, I'm so sorry, I'm so emotional, but I would really appreciate it. It's under help Kim and Ken rebuild after house fire. Like, I don't want to, like, I know that you're gonna yell at me, Sharon, if I say that they need it more than we do, but
listen, when I talked to you earlier today, when you started to leave me a message and then started to cry, and then when you video chatted me, right? And like, what did I say to you? Like, I don't want to appear to be cold, right? But the universe is doing this for you. And what did I tell you the other night? I did say to you, you got to repay the universe, even if that means, like, you just go buy a $10 scratchy and give it to the person in the shopping mall parking lot, the grocery store that looks like they are hungry. You just, or give them $10. Like, you have to do. I'm of the big belief that you have to give back. You have to repay that, right? But and I understand. Like, I looked at those pictures on that GoFundMe, and their situation's horrific.
We're completely devastated.
But and I live with the belief that if I give you something to help you, it's not for me to ever tell you what you should do with that, right? Like, you do with what you want to do with that. And I know, because of the huge heart that you have, this is killing you. Like, I know this is killing you. Like, that her GoFundMe's been up and it's not taken off, and nobody's donated in the way that yours was donated to.
We're at the same 1,613. It's been up for days. 26 donations. Like, how can I sit here and be and we need the money. Don't get me wrong. We desperately need this money, and every dime of it will go to very good use to get us out of this situation. We will not squander a penny of it. But I have to, Aaron and I agreed we're going to donate to her GoFundMe a little bit, because
I don't think, listen, this is what I think. And I know that you were even worried about this, but I think you should share that link. And anybody that's watching right now, you could do a huge, huge service by sharing that link out publicly. Hopefully the algorithm will do something that it gets out there. And because I can tell you, I've seen on the GoFundMe that we did for you, a lot of names that I don't recognize, just people that said, man, you know what, I want to help these people. And so I'm really asking everybody that's watching the live right now, like, please don't think this is anything other than, like, Nana, the A-team, Aaron, me, just appealing to share, just try to get their GoFundMe out there, and maybe, just a stroke of luck, it will take off for them, and other people will do what they did for you. I mean,
I've seen a miracle in the last 48 hours, and I'm not like, I'm not like that. I'm not gonna whatever. I've seen a miracle. I can't believe, and I'm like, I can't go back to people and be like, oh, hey guys, can you, like, people
I
are.
know you don't want to do that, and that's why I'm saying, like, this is not about like you trying to get your followers to make another donation to your friend. This is more about like, help me get it out there, and maybe she can have the same stroke of luck that we had. That maybe there are other people out there that just haven't seen it and are like, oh wow, this is bad, and I wanna help them out. And I think simply by taking that link, putting it on your own page, and sharing it out publicly, not just to your own friends, we might get a miracle for them too, because that's devastation. Those pictures are horrible. And the fact that her husband's in the hospital, in a bad situation, I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. And there are a lot
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And oh God, it makes my stomach turn. Kim's always been one of the people I was closer to out of that group. She's just such a loving, caring person. She's got a big family and she's got lots of kids and grandkids. And I don't know. I feel like she's always had to struggle. She's not,
But I think it's a great way that if Aaron uses his talent to put a couple of pictures up,
yeah.
and, that's a way that, like, it's not taking away from you. Nobody has to feel bad that, like, hey, wait, I donated to you and now you're giving it to somebody else, but I meant it for you. So I think that's great that if Aaron uses his talent and he puts those pics up, and somebody's like, you know what, I'd love to have that, and my money's going to go and help this family. That's a great way to do it, I think. Like,
yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Like I said, we're gonna give a little bit of what we got because we've been just so completely beyond blessed with this GoFundMe. We're gonna just do what we feel like we comfortably can right now with that, and then he's gonna sell some artwork, and we're gonna give some more. And I mean, I have to. But we have I don't have my book. I was going to bring my book down because I know people want to know like where this money is going. And I know that there's people who have been nervous about I've seen a lot of people say that GoFundMe takes a big cut of the donation, and that's not true. It's an old misinformation that went around the internet many years ago. I think they changed the policy something like 6 years ago now, where they no longer take any of the donation. They do pop up a screen and say, would you like to leave us a tip, meaning like to help pay for like the cost of running the website and doing what they do. But it's optional. You can set it to zero. The only fees taken out of a GoFundMe donation ever, if you set that to zero, are the 2.9% credit transaction fee and the 30 cents per transaction. Like the normal, you're going to get that anywhere you go. Even if you donate in our merch page, it's the same thing, 2.9% and 30 cents. Like you can't get away from that. Anytime there's credit cards involved, that's what it is. So there's no fees taken out as long as you set that tip to zero. And they I don't know how they eat that cost, but they do. So we fixed the van. So I'm going to try to get back on track. I'm so sorry. I lost it a little bit there. We fixed the van. We got the van back. Austin was able to go home. It's good because he had stuff to do. Aaron was able to drive himself to and from work today. We paid off our medical debt. We sat down together last night. We had about 500 and some change in medical debt from just this year. And we also had some medications that have been sitting at the pharmacy for a few weeks because we didn't have the money to get them. We took care of all that yesterday. So that was a huge sigh of relief. We sat down and looked at all of our credit card debt, all of our, I wrote down, I have like a program. I reported every balance, payment per month, what do you call it? The percentage, the interest rate. And the program takes it and spits out like, this is how you should snowball that money so that you can pay off your debt, right? And we've been trying to use that. So we're going to, and again, I don't have my book with me, so I might forget some things, but we're going to get Anna's school stuff situated. So her language lessons, they're not cheap, but they are of one of the highest priorities to me. Like, her education is so incredibly important to me. And I know there's people out there that are going to say, well, you could just put her in public school and she could be schooled for free. She doesn't need to take language lessons. She's only 9. I'm sorry, but my child has a physical disability that she's going to have her whole life. And she can't go out and get a job that involves physical labor. And I don't want her having to rely on disability her whole life. So I'm trying to set her up to get a very well-paying, lucrative job so she can help herself and take care of herself and hire the help that she needs and have all the assistive living that she needs off of her own income. And I strongly feel that her being a polyglot and being into languages the way she is and being into science and being well educated is going to help her do that. So her education is like, outside of keeping a roof over our head, number one priority to me. So chunk of that money is going to go to making sure she's got lessons at least through Christmas, and making sure she's got all the curriculum stuff she needs so we can get started. She's already started with her schooling, but we've got to get situated with, she's in 6th grade this year. And then I'm trying to think of some of the other things we were going to stock up on the other kids. We call them our fur babies, stock up on their food. And then now they're telling me I should do an Amazon wish list to get stuff for the animals. And I'm like, nah, I have all this money. Did you see all this money? Like, but they're like, no, but then we can do that and you can use that money for other things. I've had so many people twist my arm about that I guess people want,
you have to do that.
But there are people who were like, I'm not going to donate to GoFundMe. Like, if you put up an Amazon wish list, I'll do that. I'm not going to donate to GoFundMe. So I'm like, okay, I will look into that. So we were going to situate the animals for a while so we wouldn't have to worry about that. What else? I need my book. We wrote it all down last night, but there's like probably about $10,000 worth of like little repairs and thing. We're going to put $2,000 aside for the trip to get her braces later this year. Put that in the savings. We're going to put some padding in our accounts. So, cause we've been so close to overdrawing so many times this year that we're going to kind of put some padding so we don't have to worry about that. So basically have some savings. We were going to put aside $2,000 in an emergency fund because that's how much the brakes were. So we figure if anything else happens with the car or anything like that, we'll have some money aside. We're not going to just spend it all. And then once things are a little more comfortable. I do want to say, Sharon, one thing that I kind of mentioned to you, but I didn't get to talk about it a lot to you today because we were busy with other stuff. I told you today that I walked into the kitchen and it smelled musty, right?
Yeah.
So this house, when we moved in, we had an issue with the basement. The insulation in the basement had to be, what do you call it? Remediated?
Remediated, yep.
Because there was like mold and mouse feces. There were no more mice. They checked. We had a pest control company come in. They made sure there were no more mice, but there was like, stuff in the insulation on the rafters of the basement. It had to be pulled out and new insulation had to be put in. So we did that. It took us a while, but we got that done with some help. We had one of our subs, very lovely, kind human being, helped us do that. Then what was next? Our electricity went out twice. But my dad, thankfully, is an electrician, so he was able to come down and make electrical repairs. He had to drive 5 hours to do it, but he was able to do it.
The dryer, the shower.
The dryer died in the middle of winter, which whatever. Like, we hung the clothes in the laundry room. They dried overnight. Now we've been hanging them on the line outside. It's fine. Like, we're making do.
Then the shower.
The shower broke. That was a problem, because Aaron and I were literally for 3 months bending over the tub, pouring water onto our head and washing our hair like that because we had no shower. And Anna, she's almost 50 pounds now, and we're getting aches and pains. It's hard to lift her in there. She can't stand in there. It's slippery. It's dangerous. One of the things that we've wanted to do, or that we talked about doing in this house, if we ever had the money to do it, was getting a walk-in shower put in, because it'd be so much safer for her and so much easier to help her shower. And I mean, come on, she's going to be 10 this year. Like, she doesn't want to be sitting in a tub nude, having us bathe her for her whole life. Like, she needs to have some privacy and some fighting chance of bathing herself, and that's not going to happen in a slippery, unsafe bathtub. So that's something we'd like to do. Now, mind you, I don't think we can right now with what, because we need to pay down some debt. But that's like, if things continue the way they're going, and since you're talking about leaving it up, that's where money would go into fixing that shower. We also want to get her a bidet seat for her toilet so she can toilet herself, because she still needs us to help, with number 2, cleanup. And what else was on there? There's just some little things. And so then we were able to look at the big picture and say, okay, we could do these things and put aside this money savings, and then throw $15,000 at our credit card debt. And we plugged that into that thing, and it said that we were going to be paying off our debt. What was it? January of 2029.
Yeah, I thought 2030. I'm not sure.
And when we plugged in that bigger chunk of paying off a couple of those cards and snowballing that into, the future, it brought us down now to, I don't remember the exact month. I want to say July of 2027. It knocked 2 years and a substantial amount of interest off of our debt payoff. So, and I know, people, I've seen the comments. There are people who are like, well, I'd like to have someone help pay off my credit cards. I'd love to help you pay off your credit cards. If I had money like, Musk or Gates or all these, I would be paying off people's bills every day. That's what I would do for a living. If I had millions of, no, I'm dead serious. If I had millions of dollars like that, I would literally full-time pay off people's bills, because it is just the most wonderful, wonderful feeling. Forget sending it to nonprofits so I can get a tax break. I don't care. I want to pay off people's bills. I want to give people this sense of being able to take a freaking breath like we had 2 days ago, of feeling like you're no longer drowning. I mean, that's why I love to call up Haley and pay off people's medical bills. I don't even tell them. They just they go to make a payment, and then I go, oh, I've got a zero balance now. No, good. Take that money and buy your kids some Christmas gifts, or pay off a couple other bills, or whatever. I remember when my kids were little, getting help from the Goodfellows. I remember standing in the driveway with tears streaming down my face one Christmas, because they brought boxes of presents and food, and I didn't have money that year to give the kids anything. I want to do that for other people. But unfortunately, life is real and life happens, and our life has been back-to-back shit show for 2 years. I don't know why. I ask whatever, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, what I did to deserve going from where we were in 2022 to where we are now. Like, what did I do? I don't know. But I just want to fix it. I just want to fix it and get back to a place where we can do amazing things for other people and just be comfortable. I don't need a lot. I don't need a big house. Now, mind you, I do regret not having a pool, because I will tell you how much therapy, how much mobility increase I saw in my child having that pool. It was huge. So I will never regret paying extra money for a pool. But I don't need a big house. It's too much to clean anyway. It is.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
They say less is more, like, for me. I mean, especially as I get older, like, I don't know. I think I'm at that purge part of my life where I don't feel like, I don't like to have things closing in on me. So
yeah, I am definitely shifting into a space in my life where things are so much less important than time with people and relationships. I really think that everyone would benefit by shifting to a community focus. I feel like we got too far away from community. Like we all went into our own homes and we started watching TV and we started playing games and we started like every man for himself. And if I have to, this is what really hurts my heart, is seeing the comments from people on our page who seem to have, and I don't know if it's the generation of women or what it is, but there are some very bitter women out there who have this mentality that because they had to suffer and because they had to struggle, that everyone else has to too. And that just hurts my heart to the core. That should not be the way you feel. Just because you have to suffer and struggle, then you should know, right?
right.
You should know how hard that is. You should know how it feels. You should know how much it sucks. And you should do everything to help other people not experience that. I think we need to get back a sense of community. And I feel like that's what I've done. Like people say, well, not everybody can get $30,000 in a GoFundMe in a day. You're right. I understand that. And I sympathize with everyone's struggle, but not everybody has spent 10 years building a community. Not everybody has spent full time for the last 10 years sharing their whole life story, trying to inspire others, and building a community of amazing people who want to project that positivity and kindness. That's why our trademark, kind people do beautiful things. Kind people do beautiful things. That is our trademark. It's for a reason, because individually it feels very overwhelming when you can't help yourself, you can't help other people because you're one person. But when you come together as a community, as you guys have watched, as we have watched, we can do the most amazing things.
Well, I told you last night, one of the things that made me cry and almost have a meltdown when I think, like, at some point during the first day, the complete day that the GoFundMe was up, I saw some significant donations that were anonymous or had a name attached, and then we were being bombarded with all the comments and trying to keep up with, like, people that were like, hey, how do I follow you, or how do I get you on YouTube, or how to become a sub? And there were a lot of comments that were like, hey, I can't give you anything financially right now, but I want to give you my prayers, right? And like I said earlier, I think that means so much. But when I went over to the GoFundMe and I saw, like, people that had donated $5 here, or and then other people in the comments that were like, I can only give this much. I started to cry when I saw a name of someone that I recognized that is a subscriber, and and I know is having financial difficulty, and they made a $5 donation, and I went in Messenger and I sought them out, and I said, you have no idea, like, I know that you're struggling, and so to be able to give up that $5 is like huge, and I just want to thank you for the A team, you know, because um the kindness, the I've just had like a renewed, for myself, like a renewed feeling of like, wow, what a different place this world could truly be if people just paid it forward, you know, like, and
Yeah.
didn't question people about like, well, how did you get in this situation? Like, why do you have to do that? Just, if you can help, just help and pay it forward, because I believe what we saw, what we're seeing, is all the good that you guys have put out there is coming back to you. It took a while to get here, and you have been through a lot, but
Oh, the last 2 years have been so tough. But you know what? When we were talking to them about Aaron working on the farm, and mind you, Aaron has 0 farming experience. Like, this is a total mercy job. Like, they knew we needed help, and they agreed to let him do this. But we were talking about how they manage such a diverse, huge farm with, you know, they don't have a ton of people. And he said, what did he say? He said, maybe some of you know the saying, I'm going to get it wrong. He said, many hands make easy work, I think.
I think that is it. I think that's it.
And it's so true, because, you know, we feel like, oh, I don't have $100 to give. I don't have $200 to give. But if 500 people give $2, that's 1,000. Do you have $2 to give? You know, like, when you come together as a group, when we work as a hive, it makes it so much easier for everyone.
Well,
And
right.
I wish people would remember that.
The other night, like, we were talking about that. I said, could you imagine? I said, and like, your immediate response was like, well, I wouldn't want that much money. I don't need that much money. But that wasn't where I was going with it. What I had said to you was like, you have 600,000 followers. Could you imagine if every follower just gave $1? And immediately you were like, I don't need 600,000. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, if everybody gave $1, right? And you woke up the next day and it was like $600,000. I know what you immediately.
What did I say to you? What did I say to
like,
you I would do if I woke up and there were $600,000? What did I tell you?
I knew what you were going to say, though.
I said I'd be giving 500,000 of it away. I would pay off all of our debts, and then I would be given the rest of it left and right. I'd be like Oprah, like, you get 1,000, you get 1,000, you get 1,000, because that is just the best feeling, to be able to give people that sense of relief and feeling loved and cared for and human. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I got distracted. I was saying when I went into the kitchen, it smelled musty. So one of the things that I was thinking we could hold off on, because we're going into winter, we don't need air conditioning, is the central air, because it's very expensive. They said it was going to be $5,000 because they have to put a whole new unit in outside. And I thought that we could hold off. And now I'm starting to second guess that, because it's not just like, I mean, if it's just a matter of us being cooled, we can go outside, we can go to the store, we can sit around naked, whatever. It's hard on the dog. But aside from us being like oppressed by the heat, we have mold. Like, there's mold in the house that was already here, like in the wood of the floor beams and stuff. And when we got here and we did the remediation in the basement guy, we were running, we have these big dehumidifiers that we ran in Florida to keep the humidity down. And we were running them in the basement because the humidity was very high. And he said, as long as you keep the humidity below 50%, you will keep that mold dormant. It will never grow as long as you always keep the humidity below 50%. And we were doing that. We have 4 like industrial dehumidifiers. They run 24/7. Probably part of the reason why our electric bill is higher, but we have to, because if we don't, all of this stuff that we have in the basement and we need this living space is going to get all musty and mildewy. We have books down here. We've got Anna's stuff down here. This is my office space. This is her school space. We need the space. But when I woke up today and went into the kitchen and I smelled it in the air in the kitchen, I said, oh, shit. We're not going to be able to wait on that for that reason alone, because I don't want to come into a situation where then we've got to start gutting wood walls.
Yeah, you don't want
cabinets. Yeah. So I think we are going to have to consider, doing that. So we'll see what happens with the, I know it looks like a crazy amount, but yeah, we've got a crazy amount of things to take care of and a crazy amount of debt, and we will use every single dime. And I cannot, for everybody who's watching this, we will never be able to adequately thank you for your $2, your $5, your $100, your $1,000, whatever the case may be. You're watching our videos, you're sharing, your anything that you are doing to be supportive of our family. We will never be able to thank you enough. Everyone who I'm seeing people talk about, they're going over to Kim's GoFundMe. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for that. I'm not an irresponsible person, and I'm going to make sure that every dime that comes into our GoFundMe is going to go towards paying off our debt and doing the things we absolutely need to do to keep us healthy and safe and keep Anna the best taken care of we possibly can. And then anything beyond that, if somehow, and it's not going to get to the point we can pay off all the debt. There's no way. But, if it ever did, I'm totally committed to paying that forward, any excess. So.
Can I just want to give a little reminder, because I don't want to lose this opportunity, that in the past few days on the post that you made, there are people, and I guess I'm reaching out to maybe the people that might be watching right now. If you've left a comment that you're looking to get information about subscribing, or you need help subscribing, or you just need help getting over to the YouTube channel to subscribe over there for free, Facebook is giving me a big problem on Nana's post that, like, the minute I try to reach out and answer your question to let you know that I've private messaged you in Messenger, I'm getting flagged, right? And so I don't want anybody to think I'm not getting back to you. I don't want anybody to think that, like, no one's being responded to. The way to do that is, if you have a question, there's 2 other mods, Tressie and Jen. The best way for me, I can't speak for them, but the best way for me is to go to Facebook Messenger, and you could just click on the profile pic. If I leave you a comment, and click message, and I'll see it, and I'll help you with whatever it is that you need. I think there's a good opportunity to let people know that that's all wonky on Facebook. Like,
yeah, if you commented on the post last night saying you wanted to join the subscription to be on our live streams regularly each week, Sharon did reply to you. So check your private messages on Facebook for her reply, because she will help you, walk you through that whole process. And if that's something that anyone wants to do, if you want to become a subscriber and meet up with us 2-3 times a week for live streams, or even the video chats, if you want to go to that level, just leave a comment over on Facebook, not here on YouTube, because once we close this live, all of the comments disappear. They do show back up later, but they're not easy to access. So on Facebook, you will get seen by someone. Sharon will get flagged. She will private message you. You guys can, what? Oh, Anyway, Anna, do you want to come say goodnight to everyone? Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there and do our part on Kim's, and I love you guys so much for doing that. I honest to God cannot thank you so much for helping her. I wish if I had it, I would give her literally 10 grand in a heartbeat. Thank you guys so much. Say goodnight to everybody.
Hey.
Hi, bye guys.
We love you guys. We really do. And we hope to, improve things so we can get on more and spend more time with you guys and be less stressed. And Sharon, you know how much we love you.
I love you guys too. And I'm really, I thank you for letting me be a part of this live. I mean, I love you guys.
All right, guys, we're going to say goodnight. And we will talk to you soon. And if you need to find our GoFundMe, you can literally just open up the GoFundMe website and type in Team AMC Anna, and it'll come right up. If you're looking for Kim's GoFundMe, open up the GoFundMe website and type in, hold on, let me tell you again. I forget what type in the search on GoFundMe, type in Kim and Ken House Fire, and it should show up. It's a picture of Kim and Ken on the front, and oh God, you guys are rock stars. I can't even believe it. Oh, all right. Good night, everyone. Sleep well, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Love you. Go to bed, Anna.
Bye.